What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Pop Go the Rockers, where three rock and metal loving MFers dive into the world of modern pop music. I mean, kind of a new, like we said, what's
A
the word
new
I'm looking for?
outlook on pop music.
New
A new
outlook. I
adventure.
mean, new adventure, yeah, because I admit I am, still a little scared because I don't know much about some of this new pop music. Uh, but so far, I've liked what I've heard so far. What we've had on the show, and what Andy and Joe have brought to the
Mhm.
show. And by the way, Andy, how you doing, man?
I am doing great. I'm so excited to be here. I really love the show. It's put a new refreshment on music for me. So I'm very excited to get into this album, and I'm excited that we have our very first guest as
Yeah.
well.
Joe, how you doing, man?
Doing great. I mean, I 100% agree with everything Andy just said. It really has been refreshing to add all this different music into my daily listening. Just kind of when I'm in the car, I'll throw one of these albums on that I know we're going to be talking about. And it just really has been really fun to just kind of change what I've been listening to a lot lately. And that includes the album that we're going to be talking about today with our very special guest, like Andy said.
And who was our special guest, Joe?
Our very first guest here on Pop Go the Rockers. We're going to be talking about an artist that is very near and dear to this gentleman's heart, and so we had to have him on here for this show. Edwin Cannistraci, welcome to Pop Go the Rockers. We're so happy to have you here.
Well, happy to be here. Yeah. So great. A lot of us in the group in this, social media group that we're all in the vidcast sphere. It's not the
Yeah.
manosphere, it's the vidcast sphere. And a lot of us are like members of the RMCP army, like me and Joseph. And it's all like kind of connected. And I know like I'm probably maybe the most eclectic music listener of the bunch. Like, I mean, there's a lot, and that's one of the things I like about the group is it's not like typical metalheads where it's all just metal. Like even
Right.
Ralph and Ian will like listen to different stuff in the Rock and Metal Combat podcast. Like Ralph, of course, loves ABBA. He likes some Michael Jackson. Ian loves Prince and a lot of stuff. And so that was something immediately that I connected with that group, and that group essentially, over the years expanded and grew to a lot of people. A lot of you, or some of you watch my YouTube stuff, so a lot of this. And yes, I did a Lana Del Rey Rankorama. And she was actually the first female artist I ever reviewed. So
Wow.
Right.
I haven't done as many as I'd like. I did Kate Bush after her, and on the old show I did with Eric RMCP, we did a Stevie Nicks episode. So, but for the most part, I haven't like really dived into, even though I do listen to a lot of female artists, but just haven't really
Yeah.
gotten around to it. And I would say Lana's probably after Stevie Nicks, she's probably my second favorite female artist.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Right.
and and this is going to be a bold statement. She's my favorite artist. If we're talking about modern artists that their first album was after, like their first album was after 2000,
Mhm.
I'm thinking maybe I'm missing someone, but I'm pretty sure Lana's my favorite artist after 2000.
Wow.
Definitely after 2010. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But thinking about it, not talking about a lot of legacy acts and older acts, which of
Mhm.
course I would put ahead of Lana, but in terms of artists whose first album was in the 21st century, I would say Lana is my first like purely 21st century artist.
Wow.
And my second favorite female artist overall after Stevie Nicks. And as much as I love Stevie Nicks, and I don't think Lana has an album as great as Belladonna, that being said, Lana is definitely more consistent and more prolific than Stevie was during her peak
Mhm.
year in the 80s. I mean, Stevie pretty much had two good solo albums and then kind of
Yeah.
went down. Whereas Lana, well, we'll get into it, but one of the great things about Lana Del Rey, in my opinion, is that she's such a consistent album artist, which is one of the things that I think really distinguishes her from all her peers, including Taylor Swift. I think she overall has not only is a more innovative artist, which a lot of people like Taylor Swift, uh, she inspired, and Taylor Swift even acknowledged this. But Billie Eilish, all these women, Sabrina Carpenter, they all are essentially
Yeah.
biting to various degrees what Lana started back with Born to Die. And like true innovators, Lana did not stay there. She kept evolving. In fact, this album that we'll be discussing is kind of her first major evolution. And there would be a lot like Madonna in the 80s. Lana would develop and keep growing and do a lot of different stuff. And that's something I responded to. I'm also a big Madonna fan, especially her stuff in the 80s. So to me, I saw a connection, even though Lana's not quite as big as Madonna was and not as big as like someone like Taylor Swift. She is a very significant artist in a lot of circles, you know. I mean, she is considered like one of the most important female 21st century artists out there. And I think and she does like play, you know, she is a stadium act now. And this is
Mhm.
amazing when you realize that she hasn't quite moved the same units album wise, but in terms of her range in terms of people going to Spotify and listening to her. She's morphed into becoming a legacy artist, and I think it's like Lana's legacy will only expand in the years to come.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
there you go.
I agree. I mean, when I first heard her voice, man, I was so intrigued by it. I mean, it's one of those voices that draw you in. It's just it's hypnotizing almost listening to her sing. It's very it reminds you of those old 40s or 30s lounge singers, you know what I mean? You know, with the
Very
flower
Twin
in the
Peaks.
hair and
Yeah.
really, really awesome, I think. And this is my favorite album that I've heard from her so far because I think it is a pure representative of the artist that she is. The different tones on her voice. She can be playful with her voice. She can be sexy with her voice, and she can be uh listen to me type of, you know what I mean? She has that so different qualities to that voice, which I just immediately fell in love with, man. And her actual given name is Elizabeth Grant. I think she did the right thing. I think Lana Del Rey, her style, it kind of sounds like a Lana Del Rey, you know what I mean? Elizabeth
Oh yeah.
Grant.
Mhm.
She went by
Yeah, that's
Lizzie Grant. She went by a lot of names. I think she did she release some stuff before she
The
was Lana?
first album, it was an independent release, but her first album is she's calling herself Lizzie Grant. And
Right.
that's out of print. She, you know, does not like people really listening to that album. And it's not horrible, but I get it. It's on YouTube. I've listened to it a couple times and it's definitely sounds like it's not fully cooked there. She's not fully there yet. She doesn't really have the persona down, but it is interesting. She's got enough of it that you see that this is not like she is not the mastermind of someone else, some producer. She
Right.
had enough of, she already had this whole retro. I mean, she loves like Nancy Sinatra, Peggy Lee, people like that. And you mentioned Twin Peaks,
Mhm. Yeah.
Andy. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a David Lynch fan. In fact, on
Mhm.
the Paradise EP, she covered Blue
Yeah.
Velvet. So,
I was going to say it screams Blue Velvet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The,
yeah. So
that
she
that
already
and the
had that.
Mulholland Drive. Yeah.
She already had that aesthetic down. It just sounds like almost like dress rehearsal. Like she didn't really hook up with the right producer yet and group. But then, of course, with her major label debut, which most people think of as her first album, which is Born to Die, that's when she really kind of solidified that. As at the time, she was calling herself like the I think it was the hip hop Nancy Sinatra. That's it.
Yeah.
But she was already kind of moving away from the hip hop thing because there was a lot of hip hop and dance beats on Born to Die, which that's the thing with this album is that it
Mhm.
started to bring in more of a rock element with guitars and stuff. And
Mhm.
although there's a few songs that do have kind of a hip hop beat, like like
West
uh,
Coast.
West Coast, but for the most part, it's a little more of a loungy after hours rock,
Right.
cocktail rock. I
Yeah,
would,
I agree. The album we're doing is Ultraviolence, by the way, everybody. And I would even question to even call that a pop album. Come to think about it, it has a little bit of pop elements, but it seems like more like just like a I don't know, adult contemporary maybe. I don't know. Definitely more than just a pop album, in my opinion. I mean,
yeah, it's interesting because
alternative pop, is that such a word? I heard that
yeah,
word.
well, the
Yeah.
interesting thing, Born to Die, a lot of people would categorize her, and sometimes in record stores and stuff, they would call her indie rock, which totally she wasn't, but or alternative. Even though Born to Die is really just a pop album, but it was just an innovative, fresh,
Yeah.
new pop album, so people were having a problem categorizing it. But with this album, Ultraviolence, I can kind of see people thinking indie rock or alternative rock because it has a lot of guitars on it. It's a little distortion here and there, and it's definitely not like what mainstream pop music with maybe the exception of West Coast, it's not really a pop album.
It's
I agree. I think she went back to the pop and grew from there in new innovative ways with the next one, Honeymoon. But this is definitely a departure and kind of different for her in her whole catalog.
yeah.
It's definitely the most guitar based of all her albums. And at the time she was dating this indie rock guy from Scotland, and there were also rumors that she was had a fling with Axl Rose during this period. And so I think she was like kind of in her this was like her rock and roll period. So I think that
Gotcha.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Andy's face when you said Axl Rose.
there were rumors,
I
and
think
there's
my opinion just my opinion ever just went down a little. I'm just kidding. No,
well, you
I'm
know,
sorry.
Mystique,
She's this beautiful, gorgeous woman, and this dude looks like a walking STD walking out the door for crying
this
out
was
loud.
her when she was in her late 20s too. She was a very young woman.
she's 40
Yeah.
now. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
40
now
now.
she's
Hey,
40.
she's only 14 years older than I'm married.
Well,
I
it's
can do
rumors.
it.
You never know. But she did have
Every
a
week, if
song.
somebody knew, Jerry.
There is a B-side from this era, from this sessions called Guns N' Roses.
Really?
Yeah.
It is on the bonus track edition. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so that helped, play. And they were seen together, like there were pictures of them, not kissing or anything, but socializing. So that sparked rumors. But who knows? Maybe maybe they just hanged out. You don't know.
True. Yeah.
God,
Anyway,
that's just
Joe.
so young. It's just that age difference. It's just too much for me. It's just
Joe, what is
And
your
that was peak fat Axl Rose. That was post Chinese democracy
Oh yeah,
pre-reunion
Botox
Axl Rose.
too.
Yeah.
They did not look as fast, but sometimes it's just like the mystique. I mean,
Yeah, it's just it's Axl Rose, man. Like
And
Yeah,
it
I
was
know.
like a little girl looking at clips from the Usual Illusion tour and stuff, probably on MTV.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yes.
like, it's that guy. It's that guy.
Right.
what I also like about her, she doesn't come across as a typical pop star. I mean, she's a chain smoker.
Yeah.
She'll pretty much tell you the way it is. I mean, in her interviews and stuff, she's not afraid to, hurt anybody or not hurt anybody, but you know what I mean. Speak her mind, let's just say. You
yeah.
can definitely like
She
Edwin
doesn't
said,
sugarcoat things.
she's her own person. So
Yep.
I love that about artists. That's hard to do now in this field. I mean, Taylor Swift pretty much runs her own stuff, but I that's probably all. I can't think of anybody else. Maybe, well, I would say Beyonce, but I think her husband runs her career.
Oh
But
yeah, there's so many producers per song.
so
It's just such a big facade over
Yeah,
there.
Lana definitely, and where she differs from Taylor Swift and Beyonce is Lana definitely is not. You could initially she was somewhat intrigued into fame in the way that she was intrigued by the whole Hollywood mythos. That's a
Mhm.
big thing with I would say her first 3 or 4 albums. I'm counting Born to Die as her first album, like most people. But from there, maybe to Lust for Life, kind of that run of albums, she's really into the whole Hollywood mythology, and I think she kind of got into it. But then she goes in the opposite direction. She internalizes, starts doing more singer-songwriter writer type music, more pianos, orchestration, becomes more intimate. And now, like, she's really kind of cut off from all that. And, now she lives in Louisiana with this like regular guy who's her husband, who runs an alligator airboat tour, and
yeah,
she's like really
yeah,
dropped out, and she's
Yeah.
leaning towards country and Southern Gothic. Her last single was amazing. I thought that Southern Gothic weird song that she did, I love it. And yeah, you could tell like she's not really into the whole fame thing anymore. And even though this
yeah.
album is very fly over America because it's very Brooklyn, LA, if you listen to the lyrics, it's like all
Mhm.
about
Oh
being the
yeah,
girl who's flying, New York, LA. It's like the stereotypical kind of hipster elite thing. But she's like totally, she kind of, I wouldn't say came right out and denounced it, but in terms of her action, not kind of similar to Dylan in the late 60s. Like she dropped out and like Dylan went and just did his own thing and also want more country in Nashville and wasn't so much part of the whole big rock and roll scene anymore. And Lana's kind of done that. Like so and more power to her. It's like one of the things that confirmed what I suspected with this album when I first heard it, that she was the real deal, that she was a real authentic artist. And, Born to Die could have been like a novelty or like a one-trick pony thing. And this is the album that made me a fan. Like I liked Born to Die. It was an album I wife at the time loved and played a lot. I loved some of the singles. I loved Born to Die, Blue Jeans, uh, uh, Blue Jeans, and Video Games. And there was a lot of good songs on it. But I still like, we'll see what happens. She's good for a pop artist. That's kind of how I thought of it. But then Ultraviolence, my wife bought the album first day, and we sat and listened to it in our apartment in Sherman Oaks in the Valley. And it was the moment where I became a fan. I was just like, oh
Yeah.
shit, this is like a really good, loungy, sexy, atmospheric, like rock album. And I loved every song. And like my estimation of her definitely grew. And from that point on, I like every album. If for a period it was something I shared with my wife at the time, but then even after our divorce, uh, Lana stayed with me. We both kept her in the divorce. Like a few artists, like we both loved Fleetwood Mac, Neil Young. We had certain artists that were art. There were some artists like that were just my artists, like Judas Priest. Was just for me.
Yeah.
But then there were and she like there was like some like she loves like pulp and Blur that which I wasn't so into, but there were some artists that we both shared, and Lana was one of them. And yeah, I if anything I love her even more now. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
my
my
hit.
wife.
Lana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife is a huge fan of Lana Del Rey. She actually listened to her long before I was. I just one day just started, I overheard her, singing. I'm like, what a fucking voice. And then a couple months ago, she released a song called Bluebird, which is like, oh my God, it's one of the most beautiful songs I've heard in a long time, the way she sings it. And she has a new single, what is it called?
Whitetail
White
feather.
Featherhawk Tail Deer Hunter or something like that. Yeah. I guess she's coming out with a new album this year, I think.
Yeah,
Am I right?
yeah, it's her American Gothic kind of country album,
Yeah.
Lana's version of a country album, and it's called Stove, and that should be coming out. The right now they're saying May. They have moved the date. She's been promising this album for over a year now, but it's looking like it really is coming out now, like
Yeah.
in the next couple months.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I just started listening to what the hell's the name of it? The Tunnel. Did you know that there was a tunnel under
Yep.
that album? I'm just starting to listen to that album. But yeah, Joe, what is your history with Lana Del Rey, man?
So, like we talked about with a couple of the other artists we've already kind of covered, these are artists that really started to gain traction right when I started high school. So, when I was a freshman in high school, was when Summertime Sadness hit big.
Good song.
And that was
Yeah.
like the big hit for her at the time. Especially when they put the remix out. That was what really kind of took over the charts and everything. And that was really the only Lana Del Rey song that I knew at the time because that was the one that was constantly on the radio. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good song, but it was at the time that was not the music that I was pursuing. So I never really went and kind of gave any time to looking more into someone like Lana Del Rey. So I knew that song, and I'm sure there was a couple other songs that I probably heard in passing, but nothing that I could really identify. So it wasn't until a lot more recently, and actually seeing people like Edwin and Jerry talking about Lana Del Rey more, that I kind of went back and started looking more into Lana Del Rey with albums like this, with some of her later albums as well. And so it was pretty recently that I really kind of went back to even give her that time, just because it was not something that I was really into at the time as far as what I was pursuing musically in 2012. And so I'm really, really happy that I got to finally go back and really look more into Lana Del Rey and give her that time.
Thanks.
Yeah, I've always wanted to. I always had a passion for pop music. I really have, but in our circle, it's not very popular. You know what I mean? So I don't really have an outlet to talk about pop much. So I really, with that being said, I don't get to listen to it very much. But I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to talk about pop music. I'm not going to fucking hide it anymore that I like pop music because I love a lot of it. So what's so cool about this show? But anyway, Andy, what's your history with Lana Del Rey, if any?
Yeah, the first time I heard Lana Del Rey was when Jerry said we're going to do this album. So I said, all
Wow.
right. So I'm really glad that you three talked before me because I got to learn a little bit more about her. Um, so I'm very new to this. I think that I need more lessons to really grasp it, but I will give my opinion of what I have heard. But is it an artist that I might want to get into later on? I don't know. But I do respect what she's doing, and I think that she's authentic in what she's doing, and that right there is something that I truly respect, especially in the world of pop, when they're pretty much pulled here, pulled there. She seems to be walking straight forward to what she's doing. And Edwin was mentioning her gothic country album. I'm very intrigued about that because my wife is from Louisiana, so we've done a lot of like Louisiana swamp ghost tours and stuff like that. So that's kind of right up my alley. That and the way that this album, Ultraviolence, the one we're gonna be talking about, it has a certain mystique to it. That's why I think that I need to really deep deeper into something like this because it's not an album that to me jumps out at you. You really need to dig deep to really sense what she's trying to tell you. But with that being said, I'm very excited to hear what y'all are going to say about this album.
Yeah, I get it. It's a very mellow album
Yeah,
for all
it
that.
is.
I get that, it's very melancholy, very, very slow. But
Yeah, I would actually recommend for a person just getting into her, especially Andy, I would recommend Norman fucking Rockwell. I think that's kind of considered her definitive album. Like Born to Die and Ultraviolence both were more successful commercially, but when people talk about what's the greatest Lana Del Rey album, it's not my personal favorite, although I do love it. But Norman fucking Rockwell is generally considered her best album or definitive album, and it's right in the middle of her catalog. So it's kind of the definitive album, and it she kind of does everything that she kind of does in her career. She kind of does on this album, and it's probably the one where the songs are most like front and center. Like it's and not just about atmosphere. There's atmosphere, but it is the songs are very pronounced on it. So I think that'd be a good one for you to listen to, Andy.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'll talk about it later. But when I saw Norman fucking Rockwell, I was like, dude, that's I love that title because I'm a big Norman Rockwell fan. I've got all sorts of stuff here,
Yeah,
Prince
I think
and
that's
all
one. Yeah, and she does a great cover of the Sublime song.
yeah, she did summertime. No, not summertime.
The doing
Doing time.
doing time.
Yeah, doing time.
Yeah, and
And I love
yeah, it's a great cover, and
it.
that's definitely an album I would recommend. And then maybe going back to this afterwards. Also, the one that Jerry mentioned, her last album. There's an ocean under um, there's a tunnel under Ocean
kind of
Boulevard.
under the Ocean Boulevard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very eclectic and sprawling, ambitious album. I would listen to Norman fucking Rockwell first, but if you like Norman fucking Rockwell, then maybe jump over to that album because that has a lot of really strong material on it too.
Yeah.
And so that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, it's
That's
something
what
that
I've
I
grown
really
to.
do want to get into. So
That's what I've grown to like it, love about her is there's, not one album is the same. You know what I mean? I love she changes up her albums.
Yeah,
I
this
love
this
that a
one,
lot.
yeah, to bring it back to Ultraviolence, this one for a very long time, I've always said this was my favorite Lana Del Rey album.
So far,
And
it's mine.
it's close. I just recently think you might have noticed I name checked Honeymoon when I did my honorable mentions. Honeymoon's the album that came out after this, and that's the one that I find myself listening to the most these days. And my theory is if it's the album you listen to the most, then it probably is your favorite. So
Yeah, Mark.
I mean, it could be that Ultraviolence is a little burned out for me because that is historically the Lana album I've listened to the most. And also, there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard. I played that so much over the past like 3 years. But Honeymoon is the one I keep going back to the most after all these years. And I was thinking, and it's a great album to write to. That's her most cinematic album. It's very there's a lot of cool symphonic stuff going on with some hip hop beats but it's almost like one big song in a lot of ways. It's very atmospheric. So that's I think I would say Honeymoon's my favorite, but this is a very close second, and it could maybe a year from now be my favorite again. It's a
Yeah.
very special album to me, and like I said, a little different from all her others. Definitely her most rock and roll, and it's just dark and sexy and has that
Yeah.
after hour vibe. I always love, I'm a big David Lynch fan. I like that kind of after hour, kind of David Lynchian vibe to it. And there's a lot of really great songs. Even just on the pop front, I think like West Coast is one of her greatest pop songs. That's a banger. It's a really catchy song. I love the way the guitar sounds, kind of serpentine like with the beat. That's great. Her vocals are really strong on that one. Cruel World, great opener.
Oh
I
man, what a
love that
song.
song. Any and
Ooh,
rhyming bourbon with suburban, fucking,
yeah.
she's really, really great lyricist. And that's the thing too. Lana does, she gets help with the music, with producers, like a lot of pop artists, but lyrics are all hers. She's the
Got your Bible and your gun. I love that line, dude. I love that. That's that's probably my favorite song for her so far. Is "Cruel
it
World," actually.
really creates a vibe. Like that
Yeah,
song comes on, the way the guitars come in, and then she comes,
yeah,
like she really,
yeah, really. So, what
and
else do you like about? What are there some strong songs that you like from this album, Edwin?
I probably my favorite is "Fucked My Way Up to the Top." I
That's a great
love
song.
Well,
that.
this is my show. I love the lyrics of that fucking
Oh,
song.
great lyrics, great. It's got real bite to it. It's like
Yep.
it's dark, sexy, and it has vibe. I love a lot of like 80s, darker 80s pop, like when Phil Collins is like angsty Phil Collins, like after a divorce, like In the Air Tonight, or I Don't Care Anymore, like the darker, or Mama, in Genesis, like the darker Phil Collins. And I think like a song like Fucked My Way Up to the Top just has a kind of quality like that. Like I could picture it being used in a nighttime scene in Miami Vice. Like it just has that
Yeah.
nocturnal urban vibe to it. And I'm just in also love like Tangerine Dream and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
it just has that vibe to it, and it's very cinematic. I also love Brooklyn Baby's a great tune. That's fun. That's like her little like Velvet Underground kind of hipster love letter. That's a fun song. Also, I like Pretty When You Cry, where the guitarist
That's a
kind of
good song.
rips off
Yep.
Hotel California, makes a good use of that guitar chord, and that's a really great song. Sad Girl's great. I mean, every song's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd go Fucked My Way Up to the Top, and Cruel World and West Coast are probably my three favorites.
Right. Yeah, I agree with Cruel. I agree with your, taking Cruel World is one of the best songs on the album. I think it is the best song on the album. I love that song so much. Just love how it comes in. It's very surreal. And that guitar, like you mentioned, that effect that he has, it's very reverby.
Yep.
That's where I'm looking for. Very cool sounding. And her lyrics, man. He got your Bible, he got your guns, I love your women. It just, lyrics and the way, as I mentioned, her tone on her voice. She could be sexy, she could be playful. And it's all in that song, I think. She has like so many different moods in that song, I think, which is why I love it. It's a long song. I especially love how it ends, dude. It's so dramatic with the ending with the drums, when she holds that note at the end.
It's almost
So
like a little bit of I said like mid '90s Smashing Pumpkins pageantry to it. You're like leaning into the drama of it, like like it is very theatrical, but yet very visceral at the same time. It's almost like where Courtney Love and Billy Corgan would meet in the wails of this crescendo of this song.
yeah,
It's Yeah,
just that drum beat too, the boom,
yeah.
boom, boom. But it's just so fucking cool. The song just is amazing. It's a really fucking brilliant song, in my opinion. And I agree with Fuck My Way to the Top. I mean, I love the attitude in that song. I love the lyrics, man. Fuck My Way to the Top. This is my show. I hear lyrics. I mean, just a fucking killer tune. What you mentioned all about that song is so cool. But I gotta go with the title track, man, as being a really good fucking tune. It's
That's a really
really attitudey and the way she sings it. I mean, it's not really too much. She basically just sings ultraviolence for the chorus, most of it
It's a
anyway.
strong
But
chorus, though. It's simple, but it's
it's
memorable.
very strong,
It
very
was one
fucking
of the
strong.
singles, and it was one became a staple live, and
Yeah,
it's a great song. And that's the thing too. Lana got a lot of criticism, especially in the early days, from a lot of feminists, because Lana has many times vocally said that she's not a feminist, so she's
yeah,
somewhat reactionary. She's not really
yeah.
right wing or left wing. She has very complicated politics, something kind of similar to Bob Dylan as well. She has very complicated kind of internal, you know, views that don't line up. You can't really put her in a box, but she's definitely not a third wave feminist. That is the one thing that is
No.
very clear.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of third wave feminists, including Taylor Swift, that are currently in Billie Eilish and stuff that does put Lana somewhat makes her kind of an outsider, even though she is friends with Taylor Swift and they work with the same producer sometimes. But
Snow on the Beach. That was a good song they did together,
yeah, I guess
actually.
they did that on the Taylor Swift Midnight's album. But yeah, Lana's yeah, she's a little bit she always was kind of an outsider. Like instantly she was considered kind of like, like like a proper liberal music journalist would be critical, not of the music or the sound, but of what Lana was singing about because she was romanticizing violent relationships and stuff like that. Lana, a few years later, brought up the fact that there's a lot of R&B singers that do that all the time. Black singers do that all the time, and no one, took them to task. And that got her, I wouldn't say canceled, but it made things even a little worse for her. But Lana was just bringing up just general hypocrisy. I really don't think it was a racial thing with her at all. I mean, she's very into R&B and hip hop and has black backup singers. So I definitely don't think there's anything about her that's remotely racist. I just think she's one of these people that's just like a straight, doesn't think in optics. She doesn't think in polite PC optics and just speaks her
Right.
mind. It's because she's so non-racial, it just didn't occur to her like, oh, I'm using black singers as an example. Like she was just saying, hey, Beyonce can sing this, why can't I? Because that's just how
Yeah.
she was thinking. And she got criticized for that. But again, I'm a Rihanna fan. I like a lot of Rihanna stuff. And Rihanna, she, famously romanticized her relationship with Chris Brown and a lot of kinky, violent songs. So, Lana was doing that. She doesn't do that anymore. She's evolved, she's grown since then. But at this point, that's what she was into, and it was authentic and it was raw. And this is the thing too, and it's why it is like a rock and roll album too, because it's the attitude. I mean, rock and roll should be dangerous. Like there's all these
Right.
like safe, proper. I mean, with Coldplay is not dangerous, but Lana talking about guns and bourbon
Yeah.
and ultra violence and fucking your way up to the top. That there's rock and roll in there. There's
Look,
danger. Yeah.
just that
I
title,
mean,
the album,
she gets
Ultra
high. She
Violence.
gets
I
high on
mean,
hydroponic weed, man.
Yeah,
Like,
there you go.
yeah.
Yeah, she's bringing it, and I think honestly, one of the first skinny little white girls who was like bringing in this swagger, which then suddenly everyone, Taylor Swift included, you'll see the timeline. That's when they all shifted and suddenly started embracing the hip hop swagger a little bit more
Right.
the boss
Yeah.
thing. And Lana was the one that really started doing that shit. Again, a little like some of the stuff Madonna was doing in the 80s, especially I think the Erotica album was a very it was a lot of people hated that album when it came out, but I think that was an album that sounds like Lana was probably into that and probably bedtime stories a little bit
Mm.
because she's kind of building on that kind of after hours kink pop, I would call. Like, it was like, it's about the
Right.
darkness, kinkiness. And so it's all connected. But you could even go back to like Donna Summers and like, Love to Love You Baby, in like the kind of darker kind of disco, like of the mid
Yeah.
70s, looking for Mr. Goodbar, like the soundtrack for that. Like I hear all that in Lana,
Yeah.
along with the Nancy Sinatra stuff and the Peggy Lee and all that stuff. To me, she sounds like a student. I compared her to Quentin Tarantino. She's like someone who takes like all this stuff from the past, puts it all together with talented people and creates something new, like a new recontextualized version of the past. But there's a real sense of history, and not just because she name checks it. I mean, she name checks, artists all the time from the past, but you hear it in the music. It's not like just superficial name checking. Like she's not a poser. You could tell she really loves all this
No,
music.
definitely not a poser. That's one thing I would never call Lana Del Rey as a poser, man. She's as authentic you can get as an artist, I think. I agree with you. And I have one more song that I would really recommend. It's Old Money. I really dig that song. Again, I mean, I don't, there's not a bad song on this album, but those are the four that I would probably recommend on this album. For World definitely being my favorite, and then second one probably being Fuck My Way to the Top, and then the title track, and then Old Money. But Joe, what do you got? What's your you know
yeah,
strong
I
songs on
mean,
this album?
so, I mean, when I really first put this album on and really digested it, I was driving a couple weeks ago, and it really just kind of washed over me. I think I made a really good choice letting that be my first experience with it, because like I said, when I'm driving, sometimes I just kind of let the music just kind of. I'm not actively listening to it as much as if I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm holding the CD. Let me look at this. Okay, this is track number 1. I'm going to listen intently to the lyrics. I just let the general atmosphere and the vibe of this album kind of wash over me, and I really think that that was a good decision. Just because I think that it allowed me to then come back to it and on re-listens get a little bit deeper into some of the songs. But literally, when I was in the car listening to this album, the first thing I did when I came home was pull out Blue Velvet and watch Blue Velvet, because a song like Cruel World just immediately put me in the mindset of something like a David Lynch movie, particularly Blue Velvet. But just the atmosphere and the vocal style. I mean, her voice is fantastic, and just this entire album, like you said, the kind of the dark side of pop and the kind of this kind of revealing underground almost, that you're seeing something that you shouldn't. And I think that's one of the things I really love about this album, is that you kind of get that vibe throughout it. I love the kind of back and forth, like you said, the New York to LA, the from Brooklyn baby to West Coast, all these different kind of really different vibes that you get from the album. And there are so many great songs that I really do love. There's a couple that I'm not a huge fan of, but overall, there's so many great songs. Cruel World is probably my favorite as well. I mean, just what a way to open the album. Such immediately grabs you, in my opinion. And I really, really loved that song. Pretty When You Cry is another one that I really gravitated towards, really hit me. And then one that Jerry mentioned, Old Money, as well. Really, really great track. And I did listen to the deluxe edition, which came with a couple bonus tracks. One of the ones Edwin mentioned, Guns N' Roses. There were a couple songs I wanted to mention from the deluxe edition that really grabbed my attention. Black Beauty is one that I really, really enjoyed. And then the last 2 tracks, Is This Happiness and Flipside, are both tracks that really stuck out to me, that I think would have had a solid place on the album. And I think they're both really, really great tracks as well. But overall, I mean, I just really loved being able to listen to this album, and I really am looking forward to diving even more into Lana Del Rey here in the near future, just because this album really grabbed me, and I'm really happy that this is what you picked, Jerry.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Andy,
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
yeah, Lana Del Rey, Ultraviolence. When I first heard it, I just thought it was okay, and then I second time I really, like Joe said, not sit there and read the lyrics. Well, I sat there and I read the lyrics. I said, man, he's a really good lyricist. Her writing is fantastic. It really is. That part I did like. I did not like the atmospheric slow songs or the very shoegazing kind of sound. I've never liked that. But to me, this album really sticks out. It's the midsection of this album. The middle songs are really, really good, and they really grabbed my attention. I think because they got away from that atmospheric sound and they added a little bit more guitars. It was a little bit louder, a little bit more poppier. The songs that I really liked was West Coast. That one I really liked. Fuck My Way to the Top. I liked the music there, but I thought that the lyrics were just fantastic and just so brilliantly smart and funny and brave at the same time. All that. Pretty much saying "fuck my way to the top," pretty much giving the finger to the industry, kind of saying I'll do what I need to do to get to the top. Also, Brooklyn Baby, I liked that one because I thought the production on that album, on that song Brooklyn Baby, her vocals were more up front instead of kind of hidden in the back of the atmospheric sound. So that's what I really liked about Brooklyn Baby. One song that has not been mentioned was Shades of Cool. I really like Shades of Cool. I like the guitar work on that track. Um, the guitar work on there isn't repeated anywhere else. That guitar tone, so that's why Shades of Cool stuck out to me. But I really enjoyed hearing y'all talk about this, and really made me more interested in diving deeper, maybe. So, yeah, all in all, for my first impression of Lana Del Rey, it was all right. It was okay.
I'm reading something here about this album. I'm just looking through here on some notes that I have.
Yeah.
Um, she was actually kind of hesitant about doing this album. Is that true, Edwin? Did you hear about that?
Initially, after Born to Die and like the Paradise EP, she was a little like, I think she was just like, and that when like Joseph was saying, when Summertime Sadness broke, and that was a little bit late. Like that's why one of the reasons why the Paradise EP came out was to kind of exploit her sudden fame that she got. Like there were people like me and like my wife at the time had bored. We were already kind of hip to it. Like there was a wave, especially in LA. In LA, like Lana, obviously locked in with a lot of us living in LA because she was like singing about it. So, but I think nationally it took Summertime Sadness to kind of break her. And by that point, I think she was just maybe it was just like everything was just a little bit too much for her, too fast. She's kind of a introverted person. I mean, she's notoriously not a strong live performer. And she had that infamous appearance on SNL where she was singing off
Oh
key.
yeah, that was
And I
bad.
think a lot of that, I think she was just like, I can't like deal with this. Like it was too much for, but she got over it after a month or two and the muse called her again. And then she was just like, okay, let's do it. But I do think that's a conscious decision why she didn't come back with the same producers from Born to Die. One of the major ones from it did come back for Honeymoon subsequently, but this was a whole new team of producers. One was her indie rock guitarist boyfriend, another was a prominent New York indie rocker. So she was kind of consciously working with underground people and people a little more with a slight more in the rock side than the pop side. So I think that's how she kind of licked her wounds and kind of built herself back up again. And then she was ready to with Honeymoon and Lust for Life. And Norman fucking Rockwell. Those three albums, she really kind of embraced being a pop star to a degree, at least musically. And in terms of the albums, they became very ambitious and kind of slicker and better produced. In some ways, depends on what you like. I think Jerry and some of us might like the production of Ultraviolence. The
I do.
fact that it stepped back and was a little raw. Still probably the rawest album of, unless you count that original indie album first. I would say Ultraviolence is definitely the rawest album. But still, like, yeah, this was a whatever. This album helped her get over whatever issue she had at becoming famous.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm seeing here people call her style of music. They call it psychedelic rock, desert rock. What the hell is desert rock?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know what
Slowcore
Desert Rock was.
with some elements of blues rock, soft rock, and indie rock. What the fuck is desert rock? I
They
have to
mean
look
like
that up.
they mean
LA?
like what not like like
Like
that
out there in Burning Man or something? I don't know what the fuck.
like the ZZ Top album, Trejus. Is that how you say it? Andy, is that how you say
Mhm.
Trejus? They sing it the Mexican way. I know you're a gringo, but
Oh. You're talking about Tres
Tejas.
Hombres.
yeah, what?
Chaos.
Tres Hombres.
No, Teos. Never mind, you don't know it.
Oh,
Chaos.
okay.
Teos, which is the
Tejas.
Mexican way of saying Texas,
Tejas.
essentially. There's like a song at the end that's like this instrumental that's it's like a desert song, and the guitars are kind of abstract, and it's almost like what they mean, it's like the desert version of like surf music, like where there's something hazy, like the horizon of a mirage on a desert road, and there's something kind of hazy and smoldering about it. That's what
I can see that then. If that's what it is, I see that on this album. Absolutely.
yeah, I think that's
Um,
what they're referring to.
all right. So I myself give this album a thumbs up. Joe, what do you give it? Thumbs up or
Yeah, I
thumbs down?
definitely give this album a thumbs up. Like I said, this is really what got me into wanting to explore more Lana Del Rey, and I'm really looking forward to looking into more of the albums that she's put out.
Yeah. Andy, let's see
Yeah,
it, man. Thumbs up or
I'm
down?
going to give it the same thing as the Taylor Swift album, a thumb to the side. I'm not there
Up to the
yet.
side.
I won't give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. It's right here. So I need more time.
So it's 2.5 thumbs, I guess, for this one.
Yeah.
We're doing pretty good so far. We haven't had any duds so far, so that's good. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So that is our discussion about Ultraviolence with the beautifully talented chain smoking Lana Del Rey. I wish she would quit smoking, but I don't know. Maybe her smoking helps her voice. I don't know. It gives her that sound. I don't know. But
It gives it that black velvet sound.
but I remember that Saturday Night Live thing. Now you mentioned that. Wow, that was she got a lot of shit for that. And everybody made fun of her because she does this thing with her hair too. You know, she's always like putting her hair back like this.
Yeah, she's still to this day, even when she plays stadiums, she gets criticized. I mean, she can there are moments where you see her sing well live, but you can tell she's uncomfortable. It's not her thing. She's not a natural performer. And she has said this. She is comfortable in the studio. That is where she feels comfortable and in her space, and that's where she comes out as a singer. She's definitely more of a studio artist than a live artist, but she has to like there's just you can't say no to that kind of money.
Okay.
It's a little disappointing. That's my only thing about Lana, I would say, is it would be great if, and that's something where like Madonna definitely excelled at, because Madonna was a great performer live. She could really put it across live as a dancer, as a presence, and she definitely was not shy at all. Whereas Lana has she has the pop ambition in the studio, but live she has the demeanor of an indie rock artist.
Yeah.
And those two things don't always match.
And it's weird how you said that. She could, like you said, she could probably sell out stadiums, and yet she doesn't like performing. I mean, she doesn't want. I don't think she likes. I don't think she wants to perform live, like you said. But
She does it. I mean, often she gets dragged
yeah,
into it, and like she,
yeah,
headlined Coachella and stuff like that.
yeah.
But you could just tell it's not really her thing.
Yeah, she looks uncomfortable. I've seen a couple of her live videos. She doesn't look very comfortable on stage.
Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
I was reading about the tour for this album, and it was like 20 dates long. It was like a month.
Yeah,
I was all like,
does
"Am I
not
missing something here?"
she does not like
To be
touring.
fair, that's what a lot of modern pop artists do. It's not a
Really?
lot. We're not all Taylor Swift. We can't all do 800 dates.
Oh, well, also, I'm thinking about rock
Yeah,
music.
Taylor Swift she could
Yeah.
sell out Green Acres,
I mean,
Florida.
like,
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah,
when I saw Lady Gaga in 2022,
Mhm.
I think the tour was like 16 days long.
Wow.
Yeah, they
But
don't
then again,
do
Lady
rock.
Gaga has like health issues and stuff like that.
Right.
She can't do big tours.
Yeah.
But like I know a lot of pop artists. It's you hit the big cities and that's about it.
yeah. Lady Gaga, I think, got early lupus really bad. I think, doesn't she?
Yeah, she has
Yeah.
like really bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
And
the
that's a
other
tell you
horrible
what,
shit.
you would never know seeing her live. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved her live. She was great when I saw her.
Yeah, I think live performance, generally speaking, with a few exceptions like Taylor Swift, I think it's kind of more rock domain.
Yeah,
That's
it really is.
hey, rock still kind of reigns supreme as a live, art form.
And country.
Country, but even country is kind of regional.
And it's the big artists, really.
And it's just the big artists and not so much around the world. It's just naturally.
Yeah.
Whereas rock is around the world.
Yeah.
And there's always been that
sometimes
staple
even more
system.
so outside of America.
Oh yeah, but like Iron Maiden,
Big time.
outside of
Yeah, outside of
America, are
America.
headlining
Europe,
stadiums.
Europe, especially South America.
South America, Iron Maiden headline stadiums. They're a stadium
Yeah.
act.
Stadium.
Yeah, stadiums. But in America, they're just an arena act. So that's and that's a sticking point with them. They don't like America because
Oh yeah.
No,
That's why they didn't play. That's why they didn't play Flight of Icarus for
Flight of
30 years.
Icarus. No. All right, guys. Thank you, Edwin. Thank you, man, for joining us, being our first guest on the show. Appreciated the
Thank you so
knowledge,
much,
man.
no, it's
And,
great.
Joe-
It's a lot of fun. I love an opportunity to. Of course, I love rock and metal, but I always jump at the opportunity to talk about other kinds of music that I love.
Something different, yeah.
But I will definitely come back again if you will have me. And
Absolutely.
definitely if you do a Madonna episode, if you ever go back to the past, not new pop stuff. But this was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for like, subscribe, share, leave some comments, give us some recommendations to review. we will consider it and we will do it. Actually,
Yeah.
I guarantee we will do it. Leave us a suggestion and we will do it. I promise. All right, everybody, you take care. Have a good night, and we will see you next time.
Bye,
No
guys.
problem. Later.
See ya.